Hi everyone, I'm glad to be here. You know how it's difficult to start making a portfolio website, to get yourself hired, because there are so many options. Guess what? This is actually handwritten HTML, and I would like to talk about how little you actually need, what content you would want to include, how to handle the appearance, and what about accessibility. Just try to answer this question. Why didn't they go to your GitHub account? Because they don't want what's there, so they want something else. You're not gonna have a whole lot. It provides links for the CV, my grades, GitHub projects, so they can go to read more if they really want to. So you may say, I have a lot of social experiences I would like to talk about. And I used to say exactly that. However, they're gonna ask. If they're really curious, they're gonna email me. They just want the short version. That's why they're here. This site has been rewritten twice. First, second, third take. This is the current take. And I serve the older versions in case someone is curious, so they can go and take a look at it. But yeah, it had a menu, it had a normal menu up there. Look at how dumb it is, and imagine how much CSS this is. Just the amount of CSS for that functionality. It's crazy. You would want to rethink it before you go on. For this thing up here, 4 links, guess what? They just flex. But you would say, I have a lot of projects, so I would like to show them all. Well, I showed 2. And then I mentioned that there's more, and I point to my CV. Do they really need to know all of them? I mentioned what I know about web development in case they're curious about that, because that's a question they would ask. What the thing is, if you only have that much content, it's very easy to handwrite the HTML, otherwise it would be impossible. So with that, let's go on to the next topic, which is the appearance of the site. And that's really fascinating because this is not a template. It's inspired by my previous attempts to make the site, as well as Kevin Powell's site, which is this one. Just look at it. Just look at it, man. You can imagine how doable it is to write such a thing on your own. Here are some failed attempts to make this look good. At first, this was a small image. That text was as large as that text. Why did that fail? It's not obvious why that failed. Also, this used to be white all the way to the edge, and the window would start here. So this area would look like a window where you see the mountains, and up here it would be full on white to remind of some structure, some building that has roof or like a pillar. Here I used to have a gap where you could see some mountains just there, just that thick, and it could go across. Why did that fail? It's a very fascinating topic to talk about. So I would like to mention it, and you didn't used to be able to see the whole thing. So here's my interpretation of what's going on. Up here, this reminds you of something familiar. It looks like things you've seen before. This also looks familiar. You've seen websites like this. That also looks familiar. This looks like a different website, but it still looks like a website. That also looks familiar. It still looks like a website, but a different one. And that looks like a desktop wallpaper. So you've seen all of that. Now you're just seeing it one by one. And I used to be into illustration. He looks like a person. When he's flying, he looks like he just jumped. And when you look at him from afar, he looks like an airplane the way you're used to seeing them. By the way, on dark mode, the sides are gone. They don't look good anymore. It's all flat. And that brings us on to the last part of the video, which is accessibility. How much do you really need in terms of accessibility? It's fascinating. Accessibility forces you to go simple. Accessibility forces you to go well. Have you heard of alt text? A white male face with long hair. I wanted the one who can see to be able to hear as much as people with eyesight would be able to see, so he can explain what he saw to his brother. He can tell what I roughly look like, even though he can't see me. Also note that links look like links. I didn't change that. The button doesn't look like a link. Goodness. And the tab key doesn't have much to go through. If it had to go through a lot, it would get complicated. But if you keep it simple, then you don't have to care much about accessibility, because people can just reach everything. But yeah, this is the JavaScript. That's the CSS, it's about 100 lines. And then the rest, 300, 400 lines are just raw text. What if you want to translate it? What if you want Greek? Well, in my case, I want Greek, so eventually I will add it. And you know what I plan on doing? I've tried all kinds of systems to add both languages, and they are all a pain. So what I will do next time is I'll just copy paste. I'll just copy paste the HTML and change from English to Greek, because it's a pain anyway. If it's a pain anyway, I would like it in that form. Also, you can download this if you're on a Linux system. That's wget, and you grab the index.html. That's the actual file. So I would say absolutely give it a shot. And if you don't like it, hopefully you don't have a whole lot to redo, because I don't see why you would have a lot to redo. Thank you for watching, and I wish good luck with your own portfolio. It can be fun. It's a very... It's not cathartic. It's not cathartic. You have to realize who you are to write it. Come on. Come on.